The Death of Meriwether Lewis. James E. Stars and Gale. So I'm riding the train with author Gale, and she's been telling me all about the fact that it would appear that our good friend Meriwether Lewis of Lewis and Clark fame actually didn't kill himself, but was murdered. So a few words from the author.
Hello, I'm on my way to Book Expo in New York City. My co-author Jim Stars is a professor of forensic science and law at George Washington University. Professor Stars will be the lead investigator on the exhumation. Well, we debuted the book, and I met with the family member that's one of the leaders of the request to the government to exhume the remains. The family filed an official request in January of 2009. The book that we've written, the first 200 pages, is the coroner's inquest that Professor Stars organized in 1996. Got a lot of national attention. Jim Stars knows the most famous crime scene investigators in the world from all different specialties. And just as a public service, these experts came to Tennessee and testified at a coroner's inquest in Lewis County in 1996 as to what the exhumation of the remains could reveal. Now, in 2009, the family has been allowed to file an application for exhumation. When I asked Professor Stars, could we publish the testimony of the inquest, he said, yes, but would you co-author with me? So I'm a historian, and I've done a Lewis and Clark road trips book before, and I thought to put in 20 documents pertaining to the death of Lewis. It's the entire historical record, really. Some of these documents are forgeries, some of them are lies, some of them are true, and it's here for everybody to see what historians have worked with through the years. Then in the third part of the book, I wrote an 85-page narrative as the case for murder, who I think murdered Lewis and why. And I suspect that General James Wilkinson, the commanding general of the U.S. Army, who is considered to be America's greatest traitor, was responsible for Lewis's death. I build a case. I think there's some real validity to it. We'll see how people react to it. I think it ushers in a new era of history, American history, and I would like to see the reputation of Meriwether Lewis changed. I'd like to remove suicide from any suggestion of his life and character. When other famous people have died, and we think there's some mystery involving it, they've been murdered. And I don't really care one way or another who murders somebody. I mean, that's interesting, but murder is murder. But when you say that somebody has died because they killed themselves, that's slander on the part of the people that murdered them. It's wrong. It's a wrong interpretation of character. And I don't think the schools, children of America, or people should think that of Lewis. And we have a chance to prove it or disprove it one way or another. In 1848, when they built the monument over his grave, the state of Tennessee, the Monument Committee exhumed his remains then, and they said that though people commonly believed it was suicide, instead it was most likely he died by the hands of an assassin. You can visit my website, www.deathofmeriwetherlewis.com, and learn how to contact me.